a desk in the corner. When I first joined Everly Dynamics, I was the forgotten twin. Literally. My sister Lila had already been there for 3 years, climbing the ranks of marketing with her effortless charm. Everyone adored her. They hired me mostly because she vouched for me, and I accepted because I needed the work. On my first day, someone actually called me Lila twice before I corrected them. It became a running joke. The quieter twin. The backup Lila. I smiled, did my tasks, and told myself it didn't matter. But in meetings, I'd watch her take credit for ideas I whispered to her the night before. She would beam while I faded into the background. Our boss, Mr. Stanton, started requesting her in rooms I wasn't invited to. Promotions came her way. I stayed behind. At family dinners, relatives would gush about Lila's successes. "She's unstoppable," my mother said once, not realizing I was still at the table. I sipped my water and kept my head down. It's amazing how invisible you can feel in a crowded room. For years, I convinced myself that loyalty to family was more important than recognition. I stayed late fixing her reports. I drafted emails she sent with her name alone. When she got the corner office, she took me out for drinks, as if that would cover the sting. There were nights I'd sit in my tiny apartment staring at my ceiling, wondering if I'd made a mistake taking this job, wondering if I'd ever matter outside of someone else's shadow. But I kept showing up. That was my one quiet rebellion. Then came the merger. Everly Dynamics needed a single representative from marketing to present to the new board. It was between us. Everyone assumed Lila. She assumed it too, until a slip-up changed everything. One night, she left her laptop open in the office kitchen. I went to close it for her, but her screen was filled with messages to the head of HR, lobbying for me to be transferred to another branch. "She's good, but we need separation. People confuse us. I think she'd be happier somewhere quieter." My heart sank, then hardened. For the first time, I stopped protecting her image. That night, I walked home through the city lights and promised myself that if I was going to be invisible, it would be on my own terms, not because someone else decided it for me. I began documenting everything, not out of malice, but out of self-preservation. I compiled projects I had led. I dug through archived emails with my drafts and timestamps. I even found testimonials from clients thanking me directly, emails she had intercepted. Weeks turned into months as I built my case quietly. I volunteered for extra assignments that put me closer to the new leadership team. I started speaking up in meetings, small comments at first, then insights that only someone deeply embedded in the projects would know. People began to notice. "You've been here how long?" one director asked after I untangled a complicated budget question. I smiled. "A while." When the board interview came, I walked in prepared. I spoke calmly, with data, with proof of my impact. I didn't mention Lila. I didn't need to. I even shared my vision for where marketing could go post-merger, laying out a plan that had them scribbling notes. 2 weeks later, they announced the representative. It wasn't Lila, it was me. The office buzzed with whispers. Lila stormed past my desk, slamming her door. That night, she confronted me in the parking garage. "How could you? After everything I've done for you?" I looked at her, really looked at her, and said, "You've done plenty for yourself. Now I'm doing something for me." The board presentation was the best work of my life. They applauded. They offered me the corner office hers. And Lila? She still works here, but not on my team. She doesn't even look me in the eye anymore. There are days I catch her watching me from across the atrium. Her smile brittle, her eyes full of questions she'll never ask. With time, my role grew. I built my own team, people who felt overlooked, who needed someone to notice them. I gave them opportunities, praise their work in meetings, and watch them bloom. The office culture began to change. I became the leader I always wished I had. Lila transferred to another department. The last I heard, she's doing fine. But the shadow she cast over me is gone. I walk into work each day knowing I earned my place. I thought revenge would feel loud, triumphant, but it didn't. It felt like opening a window after years in a dark room. It felt like breathing deeply for the first time. Because sometimes the sweetest justice isn't taking someone down. It's finally stepping into the light they tried so hard to block and making sure no one else ever feels that way again. Thanks for listening to this story. If it stayed with you, subscribe. We share haunting, thoughtful stories twice a week. Every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Until next time, stay warm.